Some crimes are so bizarre, so chilling, and so baffling that they leave investigators scratching their heads for decades. From cryptic letters to inexplicable disappearances, these unsolved cases continue to haunt the world. What really happened to these victims? Who were the masterminds behind these crimes? And why, despite all the advancements in forensic science, have these mysteries never been solved? Stay tuned as we unravel the 10 most mysterious unsolved crimes that continue to defy explanation. In 1966, in the hills of Brazil, two men walked up a secluded slope carrying strange objects and a sense of mystery surrounding them. Their names were Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana, and their story would soon become one of the strangest in crime history. When their lifeless bodies were discovered, they were wearing identical waterproof coats and, most peculiarly, lead masks covering their faces. A cryptic note was found beside them, instructing them to take specific pills and wait for a signal. What kind of signal? No one knows. The case baffled investigators. There was no sign of struggle, no clear cause of death. Some believe they were attempting to contact extraterrestrial life. Others suspect they were involved in a secret scientific experiment gone horribly wrong. Decades later, the mystery of the lead mask case remains unsolved. On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, erupted in flames. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 4 of their children, managed to escape. But 5 of their children were never seen again. No remains were found in the ashes, defying all logic. Theories swirled. Had they been kidnapped before the fire? Had someone deliberately set the blaze to cover up an abduction? Adding to the eerie mystery, a stranger had been seen watching the house in the days leading up to the fire. And years later, the Sodders received a photograph of a young man who bore a striking resemblance to their missing son. They spent the rest of their lives searching for the truth, but the case remains a haunting mystery. In 1922, on a remote German farmstead, 6 people, including a small child, were brutally slaughtered. The crime scene at Hinterkaifeck was chilling. The family had reported strange occurrences leading up to the murders. Footsteps in the snow leading to the house, but none leaving. Unsettling noises in the attic, missing keys, and their animals appearing unusually nervous. The most terrifying detail? The killer didn't flee immediately but stayed for several days, eating meals in the house and tending to the livestock. Was this the work of someone who knew the victims personally, or was there a more sinister force at play? No one was ever caught, and the case remains one of Germany's most disturbing unsolved crimes. Off the coast of Scotland in 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers stationed on the Flannan Isles disappeared without a trace. When the relief crew arrived, they found the lighthouse in perfect condition. Oil lamps cleaned and filled, a meal half-eaten on the table. The last log entry mentioned a powerful storm, yet there were no records of a storm in the area at that time. Some speculate that a rogue wave swept them out to sea, while others believe something far more mysterious happened on that lonely island. With no bodies ever recovered, the fate of the keepers remains one of the sea's most haunting enigmas. In 1970, a hiker in Norway made a gruesome discovery in Isdalen Valley: the charred body of a woman. Her fingerprints had been burned off, her clothing stripped of labels, and among her belongings were several fake passports. She'd been seen at various hotels under different identities, always appearing cautious and wary. A cryptic note filled with codes was later found, fueling speculation that she was a spy. Who was the Isdal woman? Was she the target of a sinister plot, or did she take her secrets to the grave? More than 50 years later, her true identity and the circumstances surrounding her death remain unknown. On a quiet Australian beach in 1948, a man was found dead, his body positioned as if he had simply dozed off. He carried no identification, and all labels had been removed from his clothing. In his pocket was a tiny piece of paper with the words "Tamam Shud," meaning it is finished, torn from a rare book of Persian poetry. That same book, found abandoned in a parked car, contained a coded message that has never been deciphered. Who was this man? Was he a spy? A murder victim? His cause of death and identity remain an unsolvable riddle, forever known as the Tamam Shud case. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition in Russia's Ural Mountains but never returned. When search teams found their campsite, the scene was horrifying. Their tent had been slashed open from the inside, and their bodies were discovered scattered, some with crushed bones but no external injuries, others missing eyes or tongues. Theories range from secret military experiments to a Yeti attack, but no explanation fully accounts for the bizarre details of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Despite years of investigation, the question remains: what forced those hikers to flee their tent in terror, only to meet such a gruesome fate? In the late 1960s and early 1970s, a cryptic serial killer taunted police and the public with coded letters, claiming responsibility for multiple murders. He called himself the Zodiac, and despite numerous suspects and extensive investigations, he was never caught. His chilling ciphers, some still unsolved, left law enforcement and amateur sleuths alike grasping at shadows, desperately trying to decode his messages. He played a twisted game, sending taunts to the press and making bold claims of further killings, yet each time he seemed to slip through the cracks. Was he a disgruntled genius with a vendetta? A random madman who relished in chaos? Or was he someone who walked unnoticed among the very people hunting him? Even with modern forensic advancements, including DNA analysis and AI-driven cryptography, the true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains one of history's most perplexing mysteries. On November 24, 1971, a man known as Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, dressed sharply in a business suit, and calmly handed the flight attendant a note that would set in motion one of the most audacious hijackings in history. Claiming to have a bomb in his briefcase, he demanded $200,000 in ransom and 4 parachutes. The FBI complied, delivering the money and equipment in Seattle, where Cooper released the passengers and instructed the pilots to take off once more. Somewhere over the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, under the cover of darkness, he opened the plane's rear stairway and leaped into the night, vanishing without a trace. Despite an extensive manhunt spanning decades, no definitive evidence of his fate ever surfaced, apart from a portion of the ransom money discovered by a young boy on a riverbank in 1980. Did Cooper perish in the wilderness, lost to the elements? Or did he succeed in pulling off the perfect crime, slipping into obscurity under a new identity? The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, but the legend of D.B. Cooper continues to capture imaginations worldwide. The most infamous unsolved crime of all time, Jack the Ripper terrorized London's Whitechapel district in 1888, brutally murdering at least 5 women. His crimes were not just brutal, they were taunting, almost theatrical. Letters sent to the police, signed Jack the Ripper, mocked investigators and fueled the fear gripping the city. Theories about his identity range from a deranged doctor to a member of the royal family, but no definitive answer has ever been found. More than a century later, Jack the Ripper remains one of history's most chilling, unsolved mysteries. These cases continue to baffle investigators and intrigue the world. With modern technology and new discoveries, will we ever uncover the truth behind these unsolved crimes? Or will they remain mysteries forever? What do you think happened in these cases? Let us know in the comments. If you love true crime mysteries, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.